how am I going to follow that? So you know, I'm not going to tell you what happens in the show, but that's a pivotal moment in many, many ways, because they start to bond. So let me tell you one Ethel Merman story, since I knew her. So she used to come over to my house and watch herself on video. I had a big screen TV. She used to say on television, I never listen to my own records and I never watch myself on TV except at Stephen's house. And she did. She'd sat cross-legged on the floor, and I remember her saying, you see me there? It's 1966. I wasn't wearing a bra. If I did that now, they'd hit the floor. And that was the Ethel I knew. So anyway, past this show, we wanted to do something for you that wasn't from the show, because we're writing a second show. And it has nothing to do with Ethel Merman. And it's called Ain't It the Truth? And it's a one-act musical that's about truth and lies. And it's a little related to this show, because it's about what happened to us with a producer who told us that he owned a Rembrandt sketch and was going to back our show with it. Think about this. And there was no Rembrandt sketch. So we thought, well, we've got a story. We've got to write this show. So we started to write that. And also about a woman that I knew who told me things that sounded like lies all the time, but she was really very, very truthful. And didn't know that until her funeral. So we want to do a song. It's true. She told me that Jacques d'Amboise, the great ballet dancer, was her best friend. And I go, yeah. And at her funeral, he danced in the aisle. Wow. So that character, Joanna, is who I'm going to sing about. This is one of our brand new songs from that show, and it's a funeral song. The character of Michael, who is based on me, is at her funeral and has to get up and speak after he realizes that she did everything for him. She was on the phone 6 or 7 times a day and gave him all of his, she was a mentor, she was a support system, and he realizes it at this late juncture. So he actually comes out there and says, I can't believe all the celebrities in the room today. I'm the only one here I don't know. We lived 99% of our relationship on the phone, didn't you? Oh, and she would call and she would say, darling, give me a Coney Island surprise today. Tell me about your brilliance. In a world of no, where most people overrate you, when Joanna'd call, she would always reinflate you. All those hours on the phone were a Coney Island surprise. You could start out low, resting nicely in the gutter, then Joanna spoke, and you'd melt like you were butter. She could soften any stone with her Coney Island surprise. She would root for me when I was in the fray, when the shifting sands of fortune pushed and shoved. She would call me 6 or 7 times a day to make sure I always knew that I was loved. When careers go slow and you're sure you ought to chuck it, then Joanna'd call with her praises by the bucket. And what luck it was when she fell from the skies. And who could have known she was my very own Coney Island surprise. She would calm me when I gave in to my fears. She would tell me all my rights outweighed my wrongs. She'd toast me on the phone while drinking Kears and try to list her favorite of my songs. We all have to go, that's what wise men always tell us. But Joanna'd say, all those wise men are just jealous, and artists are forever, and those clever ginks are merely wise. And that, my darling, is your very own